So the next thing that we are going to learn in Excel today is the logical functions. So when we talk about logic in Excel, we are talking about asking Excel a question, and Excel can answer us back only in binary. Binary means in the form of true and false. True has a number 1 and false is 0. So if we ask Excel a question, it will answer me only back in the form of 1 and 0. So simple logics, two-cell logics can be done easily using the operators. What are operators for logical operators? We have seen greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, then not. So we can do this basic operation for two cells using the equal to sign. Beyond that, we need to use the logical operators. So let's do the two-cell operator. Simple, the simplest form. Let's say equal to, if the value, don't read the values here, read the cell number. Is F28 greater than G28? Now what Excel will do? Excel will go to this particular cell, look up at their values, and then give us true and false. So it will say false. Why it is saying false? Because both the values are equal. So let's go inside and change the sign to equal to. Is F28, what I'm asking Excel, is F28 equal to G28? It says true. Yes, they are equal. So if I go inside and change the value of one of the cells, it will become false. So this true and false can be easily done by, for two cells can be done easily by putting an equal to sign, and you can put the relative operator. This true and false is very handy when you are looking at removing the duplicates kind of a thing. You can also find the duplicates on the home tab in the custom formatting. You can format the duplicate values from here also, which I forgot to tell you on that thing. You can get it from here, or you can have a true or false thing, select all true and or all false, and then remove them. So this is the basic logical operator, first operator that we can use, using them after an equal to and between two cells operator, but it will not work for more than two cells. If you have to check 3 cells, 4 cells, this is not going to work. In that case, we have two another operators, AND operator and OR operator. AND is the most used, OR is very rarely used because of the output it gives. What does AND operator do? It checks all conditions or more than one conditions, and it gives back true only if all conditions are true. So if you are checking 5 conditions, it will give you true when all the 5 are true. OR does the same thing, but in the output, it will give you true if only one condition is true. So out of 5, if only one is true, then it will give you true. Let's take an example for our class. Say, for example, I ask you all to come for a movie. And I said, we'll go for a movie if the entire class is going. Then I'm using an AND operator. If I say, if only one of you is agreeing to come with me, we'll go for a movie. That is your OR operator. Now, these operator by themselves does not have much of a use because they can only give you answer in the form of true and false. But when they're combined with if loop, they can do a lot of things for us. Let's take an example. So let's talk about first AND and OR. So let's say logical function AND and OR. So I'll do AND here, and I'll put OR here. So what is this data? This data, let's have a look on the data. This data is some students and their marks, exactly the way we have the first data. Now the Hindi, English, Maths marks are there, and the passing percentage, let's say, is 50. And how does this passing happens? When you clear all the subjects, then only you should pass. So we are not going into pass fail right now. We are only trying to look at AND and OR operator. How do these functions work? So we'll say and it says logic. What is the first logic? Marks in Hindi greater than 50. You can write manually or you can link it to this cell, comma. Just do it. We have to go into the locking part as well then. Marks in English greater than 50, comma. Third logic, marks in Maths greater than 50. Close the bracket. So what is it doing? It is checking whether these three conditions are true or not. So if all the conditions are correct, then only it will give us true. So in the first condition, we'll get true because it is 64, 64 and 61 and hit enter. Now just double click, or you can do Control R, Control D, whatever you comfortable with. So wherever this condition is matching, you're getting a true. All the other places we are getting false. This is what is AND operator. Now when you use OR, the syntax is exactly the same. Marks in Hindi greater than 50, comma English greater than 50, maths greater than 50, and close the bracket. See, the entire place is true. There is not a single false because in the entire three cases, one of the cases always greater than 50. So let's try and change something here. Let's change this to 45 and let's change this to 47. Then you will get a false because all the three conditions are less than what I require. I'll come back to this. So this is where we use AND and OR. OR normally is not used at most of the places because when we are applying condition, we normally apply it to the entire thing. Like when you look into organizations, you have different KPIs. So when you meet all your KPIs, only you go forward for your next level. So this is was AND and OR. And remember, AND and OR individually does not have anything big to do. This AND and OR can work only properly with if loop, where we can do some analytical things into it. So let's start with if. In Excel, if we want to move ahead of this true and false, and we want Excel to do something else, then we use the if loop. So what is if loop? If it checks for condition, or we call it as logical test. So as we were doing before, greater than, less than, we'll do the logical test in the first cell. And based on this logical test can be true. It can give me value as true. It can give me value as false. So based on what the output of this logical test is,